Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back for a Monday edition of the Steel City Sports Report, where we talk everything Steelers, Penguins, and Pirates. I am your host, Brady Vini. What is going on, everybody? A hell of a day we had yesterday here on the channel. The Pittsburgh Steelers getting back into the win column over the Indianapolis Colts, who are 7-1 heading into yesterday's matchup. It was pretty awesome. We're not going to deny that. So today we are going to celebrate that win a little bit, just like we did yesterday. But at the same time, let's remember here, let's not get too high with the highs and too low with the lows, as Mike Tomlin and others usually say. So we will discuss today what all happened yesterday between Steelers and Colts. Here in a moment, we are going to give a brief recap of that game. Following up to that, I will have some winners and losers, in my opinion, from yesterday's ball game. They were fairly easy to map out here today. After we are done with some Steelers talk, we will hop into some Pittsburgh Penguins hockey for a little bit since we last spoke in this form. The Pittsburgh Penguins playing 2 games, and they tonight about to have a hell of a test against a very good Toronto Maple Leafs team. That puck drop in that game is going to happen here in a little bit less than in 2 hours. After that, I'm sure we will get back into football. Trade deadline, ladies and gentlemen, coming up tomorrow. And before we get too far along, I do want to give a bit of an update here on the channel. What is going to go on here this week? We will be live tonight talking and recapping about the Steelers win yesterday. There will be an SCSR 60 tonight. Tomorrow, I seriously doubt that there will be a live stream like this because it is the trade deadline. And let me get the picture all popped up here. We will be live for trade deadline coverage. This will be about an hour-long live stream at around 4 o'clock. So that will be right after the trade deadline has wrapped up. And we will come on here and talk about all the trades that went down. If the Steelers, if they made any trades, hopefully it's for one of these wide receivers here on the screen. You see Jacoby Myers right there, Jaylen Waddle up there in the top left corner. Maybe the Steelers now have a chance at getting him. We'll discuss that here in a little bit. So no live stream like this tomorrow. Instead, about 4 o'clock-ish, we will be here live recapping the NFL trade deadline and any and all moves that went down in the league. Wednesday, then, we will be back with a normal live stream like this. If I had to guess, we'll talk about what Mike Tomlin said on Tuesday if we do not get to it tomorrow. Thursday night, planning on not having a live stream like this. Instead, it will probably be a Pittsburgh Penguins game day stream. They will take on the Washington Capitals on Thursday night. Sidney Crosby versus Alex Ovechkin. That is always a hell of a game to watch. Doesn't matter how old or how young those two are. They will put on a show. So we'll be live Thursday night for a Penguins game night. And then Friday, of course, another live stream, probably recapping the final injury reports and game designations heading into Steelers and Chargers on Sunday Night Football. So today, regular live stream. Tomorrow, 4 o'clock, NFL trade deadline wrap-up. Wednesday, normal live stream. Thursday, Penguins, Capitals. And then Friday, probably another normal live stream. So just wanted to get all that out of the way so you guys on here know what is coming down the line. And before we officially get things started off here on this wild Monday that I'm sure we are going to have a ton to talk about here this evening, I do want to remind you guys that if you are new here, please hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications so that you never miss a thing here on the channel. Also, go give this video right now a like, a share, and leave a comment in the comment section. Any thoughts, questions, or opinions that you may have, get those in there. I see some commenters already. We are going to get to those here in a matter of moments. Also, go give the channel a follow at Steel City SR on Facebook, Instagram, and X. And be sure to tune back in a little bit later on tonight for SCSR 60. To the comment section we go here to start off this Victory Monday. And that is what Concepts refers to it as right here. Happy Victory Monday. Appreciate the live stream yesterday. Game days are always stressful. Indeed, they are. You see me and occasionally my dad in here stressing in real time. Yesterday, though, except for the first quarter, pretty stress-free from the second quarter on, if I had to say. It was a very successful live stream and a very successful day on the field for the Pittsburgh Steelers, especially on the defensive side of the ball, the unit that we were very, very worried about heading into that game. Flacco in here as well. One day, woo. Black Magic in here. What is going on, everyone? Echelon in here. No wide receiver still. Typical. Here we go. 9-8 Steelers. Here we go. Echelon, he's been probably the most pessimistic out of all of us. I mean, I was yesterday for the game, but just about overall, Echelon, he's been coming in here today with the I guess negativity, but it's not all, bad negativity. There's what Echelon does say, it does ring true. He was a little bit of a Debbie Downer on the Kyle Duggar trade from a couple of days ago, but I think that turned out well, at least in game one. And I'm sure, Echelon, you are going to be on here, upset because it doesn't really look like the Steelers are going to make a big move. Could they? Yes, but will it happen? I'm starting to not count on it. They just made a signing to their practice squad a couple of hours ago. We will break that down. Everyone knows who it is, but we will talk about it, the wide receiver situation, and then tomorrow, 4 o'clock, we will have our final answer if the Steelers are going to push their chips in and go all in with this pretty much 1 year go of it with Aaron Rodgers. So we will talk about it here in a second. Echelon just want to win, bro. I love explosive offense. Get someone the offense has been carrying this team for a majority of the season. They didn't have a explosive day whatsoever yesterday, though they did put up 27 points. I agree with you, Echelon. Will it happen, though? Just trying to be a realist here. We'll see if one happens, but I'm really not going to hold my breath right now. Magic, though, says it is coming. I hope you're right, Magic, because that would make for a hell of a fun time here tomorrow. If anything does happen, at any point tomorrow before that 4 o'clock live stream, if the Steelers do make a trade, we will go live the moment that it breaks. But if not, we will still be here live at 4. You guys can come on back, voice your opinions, concerns, anger, I guess, in some cases, if the Steelers do or do not, make a move. So we will come back here on it and talk about it tomorrow or beforehand if the Steelers do end up making a trade. 9 of you in here right now. Welcome to the live stream. Please hit that subscribe button. Like I said, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to start off talking about yesterday's game. The Pittsburgh Steelers 4-3 taking on the 7-1 Indianapolis Colts. We talked about it, I think, on Thursday, the last time we had a live stream like this, and before the game started yesterday, there was not much that really had us all that optimistic the Steelers were going to win. They were coming off of 2 performances where they just got trounced, putting it lightly, by the Packers and the Bengals. The defense looked torrid. The offense was doing the best they can to go toe-to-toe with these teams, but we're coming up short, so not much optimism. Pretty much the only fan on here that was optimistic for yesterday's game, that was Flacco, so credit to you, Flacco. You came in with the positivity yesterday, and it ended up panning out. The Colts offense, they looked like an unstoppable force heading into yesterday's game, and the Steelers defense, like I said, coming off quite possibly their 2 worst performances in really the tenure of Mike Tomlin as head coach of the Steelers. About 3 hours later, we were all proven wrong, except for Flacco, because he called it right away. Just going to give a quick recap of what went down in the game yesterday. The contest started out pretty much like how we expected. Steelers offense kicked off the game on offense. They went 3 and out. Colts then, they went on a 13-play, 79-yard touchdown drive. The Colts started that drive passing the ball almost at will, mainly to Alec Pierce on some out routes. But then the Steelers defense, they made them earn that TD. With their backs against the goal line, the Steelers did get a few opportunities to get a turnover. Cam Hayward, he was tipping passes left and right but the Colts ultimately did hit pay dirt, which was pretty much demoralizing at that point. I was like, here we go. It's going to be one of those streams. What made things look even worse, Steelers offense, they could not get anything going whatsoever. The ensuing drive after the Colts touchdown, they went 3-and-out again, ended up getting the ball back, luckily, off of a muffed punt by Josh Downs, the return man for the Colts. Brandon Echols recovering it for the Steelers on that play, and there was a really stupid forward advance rule. The ball is dead once it's recovered by the kicking team there. I don't understand it. I don't think any of us really understand it. Steelers had a free 7 points taken off the board right there. Anyways, the offense gifted that prime real estate, I believe, at the 11-yard line. They could do nothing with that either. They only turned it over on downs after that. 4 shots pretty much at the end zone. Couldn't capitalize. And the Colts, they started their next drive at the 4-yard line. Now, this is where things started to shift, oddly enough, back in the Steelers' favor. Following the Steelers turning the ball over on downs deep in Colts territory, the Colts, they were going on another long time-consuming drive. They even had a fake punt in there that they converted. But a high-paid player finally made a big play, and that was TJ Watt. He goes in there, completed the holy trinity of pass rushing, got to Daniel Jones for the sack, punched the ball out of his hands, and fell on the fumble for a self-recovery. We didn't know it at the time, but this was a damn good drive defensively for the Steelers, not just because, they ended up coming away with the ball there, but that drive from the Colts was 14 plays, and it took 10 plays plus 3 plays that were wiped out by penalties. It took them 10 plays to go from their own 4-yard line to their own 40-yard line. So the Steelers, they were making them earn every single blade of grass, and TJ Watt on top of it all was able to get the turnover right there. After the Watt strip sack, the Steelers offense, they then finally got going. They had to earn, like the Colts, every inch that they gained, but finally they were able to break through Jaylen Warren on his birthday, too. Forgot to mention that on yesterday's stream. Happy birthday to Jaylen Warren. It was the day after his birthday. Jaylen Warren, birthday touchdown, 1-yard scamper into the end zone for himself there. Following drive for the Colts took them 2 plays, and the Steelers, they made another splash play, getting another turnover. Linebacker Peyton Wilson sitting in zone coverage right in the middle of the field, steps in front of the Packers' intended receiver, picks the ball off, returns it all the way to the Colts' 14-yard line. Rodgers, the Steelers offense, they thank the defense with that prime real estate field position. Took them only 2 plays as well for Rodgers to hit Pat Freiermuth. I believe that was an 11-yard touchdown pass right there. That reception for Freiermuth, the 21st of his career, that moves him into 3rd place behind Eric Green and Heath Miller in receiving touchdowns by Steelers tight ends. So congratulations to Muth right there. Things continued to go the Steelers' way before half. Colts, they go 3-and-out on offense. The next offensive drive for the Steelers, they did have, I think, 3 minutes and change to make some hay there, but they could only get into field goal range. They believe they did hit the red zone, but Chris Boswell, he was able to put through a 25-yarder as we head to halftime. At half, 17-7, felt like momentum had shifted permanently in the Steelers' favor, but still, I was a little hesitant because we went over the stats pregame yesterday. The Steelers, all year long, they've been terrible in the second half of play, especially in the fourth quarter, where they are literally the worst defense in the fourth quarter. So wasn't, getting all that optimistic heading into the second half. I stayed pessimistic because that tended to do the Steelers good, apparently. Out of half, the Steelers, they get 2 sacks on Daniel Jones, forced the Colts to punt. But the Steelers, they said ditto. They also punted. The Colts then started moving the ball on offense again, but the Steelers, they made the splash play, another one from Peyton Wilson. He blitzes off the off the left edge, tips a ball from Daniel Jones. He was trying to get the ball out pretty much as soon as he got the snap. Wilson gets a piece of it. It flutters in the air and goes right to rookie linebacker Jack Sawyer. He gets his first career interception. Another splash play there from 41 in black and gold. For the third time on the day, the Steelers offense capitalized off of a turnover from the defense with a touchdown. Rodgers connected with Darnell Washington a couple of times, and then Jaylen Warren, his second rushing touchdown of the day, put the Steelers up 3 scores. Felt like the game was out of reach at that point, and the Colts, they tried their best, but pretty much anything they did on offense for the rest of the game was putting lipstick on a pig. Steelers, they almost took the ball away from Daniel Jones after that last touchdown drive from the Steelers, but the Colts were able to get into field goal range, and they put up points for the first time since the first quarter. Steelers, they punted the ball back to the Colts off a 3-and-out, but the defense, they weren't done making splash plays, not by a long shot. Alex Highsmith, who I'll admit I've been a little bit critical of here on the channel, and I know he's my dad's favorite player, so not a cool circumstance there. Alex Highsmith wreaked havoc again, knocked the ball loose from Daniel Jones's hand. Rookie defensive end Derek Harmon in the right spot at the right time to fall on it. Highsmith, he was a weapon yesterday. Excellent game from him. Really silenced the haters, including myself a little bit. Again, the Steelers, they put up points off of a turnover. A 46-yard field goal from Chris Boswell extended the lead. Getting their passing offense going again, the Colts, they responded with a 9-play, 76-yard touchdown drive. That was probably the most frustrating drive of the game for the Steelers. Their prevent zone defense got picked apart quite a bit, but they would soon shut me up. The offense, they tried to run off some more clock, but wide receiver Roman Wilson made a very poor choice and fumbled the ball back to the Colts. We'll talk about more on that here in a minute. So the Colts, they got the ball back off the fumble only for Joey Porter Jr. in front of his dad and his dad's friends. He puts a stamp really on the ball game with an interception. Daniel Jones gets the ball out quicker than he would have liked. Bad ball, easy pick for Peasy Jr. And just to wrap up the rest of the game, Steelers, they ended up punting one more time. Colts, they made a field goal with 9 seconds left to make it a 7-point game. They did attempt an onside kick that the Steelers recovered. That was the second onside kick of the game for Indy. The Steelers getting both of them. After that, game was over. Final score, Steelers 27, Colts 20. After the game, we did hear from a couple of Steelers. Aaron Rodgers revealing an interesting little tidbit. He said that at the team hotel the night before the game, so this is Saturday night, Jalen Ramsey, who, just like Rodgers, newcomer to the team, gets him up in front of the whole team, gives a very passionate speech. Well, I'm not really sure it was a speech. It was just a motivational moment talking to the entire group. Rodgers said that he felt the energy shift in that speech from Ramsey and that his message resonated with others on the team. So shout out Jalen Ramsey for, as a seasoned vet in the league, but still a new guy to the organization, getting up there and laying everything out on the table, firing the group up for the game yesterday. Like that, a whole bunch. Cam Hayward, Steelers captain, defensive tackle, said that it was a good response for the team yesterday. They lived up to their potential, but potential, a very strong word that, it's going to get thrown around a lot. So they need to keep stacking good performances like that. All in all, this game was the type of response game that I thought they were going to have against the Green Bay Packers last Sunday. But I guess it's better, late or a week later than never in that case. So I love that from the Steelers. They showed some fight. They showed some energy and had a tremendous bounce back performance. Really, all around, it wasn't the prettiest of performances, but it was some good complimentary football, and that's all we can ask. The offense, for as, not bad, but, kind of like a what was that performance from them. As much as, they didn't have their best day, they still did their job, capitalized, put up points constantly off of turnovers from the defense. In the defense, we have been waiting really, well, I guess you can say week 3 against the Patriots, but I think the Patriots gave that game away to the Steelers defense. The Steelers, this game, they just went out and took it from the Colts. They didn't really get any sort of help from them. We've been waiting for a performance like that where you see this defense on paper and it looks so damn good. And you've been waiting for it to translate onto the field. Even down a couple of guys, Deshaun Elliott, Daniel Ekuale, Cole Holcomb, Chuck Clark. We've been waiting for a performance like that. They came through. That is the least that we can ask for from them. We will celebrate this success for a day or two, but I think even though the Colts were 7-1 and they were statistically one of the best offenses in the NFL, I still think that some damn tougher roads and opponents are ahead, in my opinion. I want to, before I fully believe that this defense is what we saw yesterday, before I believe that that is the real Steelers defense, I got to see what they look like against one of these upper echelon quarterbacks in the NFL. They're going to have a ton of them coming down the pike because you got Justin Herbert and the LA Chargers. They are a damn good team. You got them coming up on the road at night, primetime television, Sunday Night Football next weekend. And then looking at the rest of the schedule, Lamar Jackson twice, Josh Allen, Jared Goff, and the Detroit Lions. I know they just lost to the Vikings yesterday, but still. So before, we get too high with this defense and the performance that they had yesterday, just want to throw out there, let's see them go up against a legit NFL quarterback. I have my doubts about Danny Dimes, Daniel Jones heading into yesterday's game. Those were confirmed. Maybe it's a him against the Steelers thing. I don't know, but let's see this defense, I should say, stack on top of this performance and not fall to what they have been through the first 8 weeks of the season. So, like I said, we'll celebrate this success yesterday, the win. What are your guys' thoughts on this performance? I'm sure you got those in the comment section already. We're going to get to those here in a minute before I continue on to the winners and losers from yesterday's game. And, Steelers also still top of the AFC North. They won yesterday. Hilarious Bengals showing yesterday. We'll get to that here in a minute. Steelers still atop the North. Of course, the Ravens, they are on the rise, but they're 3-5. Steelers 5-3. They still got a tiny bit of breathing room, but they need to definitely continue doing what they did yesterday. Okay, before we get into winners and losers from yesterday's Steelers and Colts game, going to go back to the comment section here. Lots of you guys getting your thoughts in the comment section here. Echelon, love it here. Kyle Duggar, you are a starter. I was wrong so far, at least. Yes, Kyle Duggar, of course, he is in the winners section. Well, he's a part of the defense winner section. I made one section about the defense. Everyone did phenomenal. There's one guy who got special recognition as a winner on his own. I'll reveal that as well. But Kyle Duggar, yes, just couldn't ask for more of that guy. Did he go out there and make a splash play? No. But did he get targeted over and over and over again as a guy who's been here for less than 4 days? And, did he get beat super bad? Absolutely not. Went out there, did his job, didn't become any sort of a hindrance on the defensive performance. I'm hoping that, that was a sign that, hey, New England, you guys made a mistake letting this guy go because he's going to come here and be a dog for us now. So Kyle Duggar, we will mention him here in a minute. Couldn't be more happier with his performance yesterday. Echelon again. Jonathan Taylor, who? That's probably the most glaring, most encouraging thing of the day from the Steelers defense yesterday. I personally was worried to hell and back. Jonathan Taylor, best running back in the league, making a case for MVP and probably offensive player of the year, to be honest. Thought he was going to come in here, run for over $150, get at least 2 touchdowns to the end zone. He was just that dynamic. And then Steelers go out there, 45 yards on 12 carries, 13 carries, something like that for Taylor. Non-existent, wiping out the entire run game. That was huge. Even huger, turned the Colts offense one-dimensional, and that led to some of these fumbles and interceptions. So very damn good job taking down Jonathan Taylor yesterday. I was worried about him, maybe more than I should have been. I'm probably still going to be worried when this team goes up against some name brand running backs throughout the rest of the year. One guy in particular, I need to see them shut down Derrick Henry. That, performance from the Ravens in the wild card game last year where they ran for almost 300 yards. It's still very fresh. So I need to see them shut down Derrick Henry, but not going to deny that at all. They did a hell of a job bottling up Jonathan Taylor yesterday. Daniel Stephen Jones, you are a fraud. Yeah, that was very true. I was looking at Daniel Jones and looking at his stats. I mean, has he really washed off the stink of the New York Giants? Like, I gotta see him perform against this team to believe it. I'm trying to remember the stats. He, heading into yesterday, was 0-2 against the Steelers, 2 passing touchdowns, 3 interceptions, a 76 QBR. So seeing him against the Steelers and versus seeing how he's done this year, I was like, all right, I'll believe it when I see it. Maybe, him and Shane Steichen's offense was a blessing for him, was able to hide his warts against the Steelers, but ended up turning from Indianapolis Jones into Danny Derps from New York once again. I hope everyone doing well. I really hope we make a trade, but not holding my breath, says Concepts. Welcome, Concepts. I'm not holding my breath either, Concepts, but like I said at the opening of the show, hope you guys come back here tomorrow around 4 o'clock. We will be live giving a quick recap of the NFL trade deadline, recapping all the trades that went down. See a couple of players in the thumbnail for that video. You can I'll get that live stream up here after we're done here tonight. But yeah, Jacoby Myers right there next to Omar Khan. Would love to see him, though I'm not going to be holding my breath. Jaylen Waddle up there in the top left. Could he be had? Probably it's more realistic now than a couple of days ago that he could get moved. Trey Hendricks in there for the Bengals. Some smoke around him is heating up. We'll see if he gets moved. Wouldn't see why they wouldn't do that now that they're 3-5. So, yeah, guys, come back here tomorrow for some live recap of the NFL trade deadline. If the Steelers do anything before then, whether it be tonight or sometime tomorrow morning heading into the afternoon, we will go live as soon as possible after that trade happens. So, yeah, I hope they do something to their Concepts, but am I holding my breath for it? Not really, because, of course, they made a move at the wide receiver position a couple of hours ago. We are going to get to that in the extra Pittsburgh sports news segment later on in the show. Catching up on your comments still here. Poor Jaden Daniels. Yeah, really when that game started to get out of reach for the Seahawks, I'm not going to lie, I turned it off, and then I see that later on at night for going to bed. Just absolutely brutal for Jaden Daniels. Hopefully he will be okay. Magic here. Muth, LOL. Yeah, Muth, hell of a game from him. He's doing his things. Can't keep hating. I'm not hating on Freiermuth whatsoever. He has come on in a big way. So hopefully he's able to continue it. Do we trade Alex Highsmith wasn't really all that realistic to begin with. Definitely not the case now that, he had that game he did yesterday. The only way you get rid of Alex Highsmith is if you got like a truly TJ Watt level pass rusher or someone of that, caliber at some other position coming the other way. So, trading Highsmith, not on the table, not going to subtract from a strength right now, especially at that position. Coveted one of edge rusher like those guys. JPJ may be the only one thankful that Roman Wilson fumbled. LOL. Set up that great interception. Was going to bring that up here in the winner and loser segment in a minute. Concepts. Not only should JPJ be thankful that Roman Wilson fumbled because he got the INT, but also, I'll bring it up, that pretty much washed away the still very handsy, grabby penalties that he had. Had at least 2 more of them yesterday, and I'm sure people were going to get on his ass today if he didn't have that pick. I think that pick puts it out of some people's minds. Not totally, but at least, puts it on the back burner there. So, yeah, definitely thinking Roman Wilson for that. Concepts again, Ramsey with a clean hit, laid the boom. Talking about the one on Pittman that was flagged. I didn't get to see it that clearly in real time, but I did see it on Twitter after the fact. And was it still a penalizing worthy play? I think so. Anytime you see him like going airborne to make a tackle like that, it's going to get called every time. That's just the day and age in football we live in right now. But did it look as violent or egregious head contact as it did in real time? I don't think so. I think he did get more shoulder than what I originally expected there. Tyrone Keaton, welcome back. Tyrone, watch. This is going to be another Mike Williams hat. Yeah, talking about the addition we're going to get to here in the extra Pittsburgh sports news segment. I'm not going to play around with it. They added MVS. We'll talk about it. Doesn't really move the needle. All we can hope for that MVS addition is that is the fallback. That's their plan B in case they don't get a trade done here in the next, 22 hours now before the deadline. So I'm hoping that that's not their plan A. I'm hoping that's their plan B, probably even plan C, just adding MVS and that being all of it. And as you mentioned there, Tyrone, they did cut Beanie Bishop. So now throw Beanie on the pile of slot corners that this team had that was a starter 1 year and gone out the door the next. So Beanie, we barely knew ye. Hopefully, I mean this, he finds a place that's going to give him an opportunity. Unfortunately, it's probably going to be with a shite team like the Jets or the Saints, something like that. So hopefully Beanie will land on his feet and he's able to still make a NFL career out of it. But also, Pitt guy in me stepped on the Pitt logo. So karma's a bitch there. But seriously, do hope that Beanie finds success elsewhere. Wasn't worried, says Magic Concepts in here. Rodgers MVP. Did he have an MVP performance yesterday? No, but was he efficient in reason why this offense was able to drag themselves kicking and screaming to 27 points? I think so. Dude ain't even get 50 A-Rod. Hell yeah. 6 turnovers. That is definitely a shock. Most by the Steelers since 2010 when they had 7 in week 2 against the Tennessee Titans. So, the defense, they came to play. The turnover culture was very evident. Is that sustainable? Having 6 turnovers a game? Absolutely not. But it is very nice to see the defense out after the year they've had up to this point. Just go out there and seeming like they can do no wrong in most circumstances. Not worried about the Ravens, says Echelon at all. The only two teams that convince me the Steelers are legit are the Bills and Lions. Beat them, and you are Super Bowl bound. Those are the two teams as well. I can I say that I'm worried about the Ravens, but also that we kind of know what the story is going to be with them. It's going to be like any other AFC North divisional matchup. You'll probably go 1-1 with them. You'll get by beating them by the skin of your teeth one game, and then they'll probably beat you handily the next. So I think we know what to expect from the Ravens. The Lions and Bills, though, those are two games that over the past handful of years, you just went in and automatically knew these guys are going to blow us out. They're going to kick our ass. You want to, prove a point, beat one of those two teams. At least be competitive in both games. And I think that will go a good ways into convincing me that this team can be more beyond what they have been, which is 9-8, 10-7, go to the wild card, get kicked out by one of those teams, the caliber of the Bills or the Lions, the Chiefs, something like that. So be competitive against those two teams, even if you got to squeak out a win against one of them. That will prove to all of us that Aaron Rodgers at the helm, defense, maybe with a couple of new characters, they're able to have a better performance in the playoffs. So I hope you're right there, Echelon. Trying to catch up on your comments here. Tyrone Keaton, he wants Jacoby Myers from the Raiders. Myers, man, that is what we are waiting on. Myers or Waddle. Myers the more realistic, Waddle the better of the two players. If they can get one of those, we will come on here and we will celebrate, especially after the win. If the Steelers were to lose that game yesterday and we were to come on here tomorrow and talk about the trade deadline and they added a wide receiver, we'll be like, yeah, cool. Offensive side of the ball, the good side gets better, but what the hell is going to happen with the defense? That would have dampened it down. Now we can see that the defense is capable of going out there and dominating a statistically good team like the Indianapolis Colts. Now that we see that they can do it, what's the old saying from Pirates manager Clint Hurdle? If it's in there, it's in there. It's just a matter of how often you can get that out from them. Now that we've seen that from the defense, you add to the offense, then we'll be like, all right, hell yeah, now we go. Let's kick it up a notch here. DK had more yardage than the stats show. The 15-yard penalty he forced should be on his stat sheet. Great work there, says Concepts. Yeah, agreed. We're going to talk about DK, mention him in the winners and losers segment. Not going to say which grouping he is in there, but 15-yard penalty. Well, now I'm probably going to give it away here saying 15-yard penalty for a guy getting paid that much and a guy the caliber of DK Metcalf. That shouldn't be your crown jewel achievement from the game yesterday, in my opinion. Echelon here. Bengals defense sucks. You ever look close to them? Pittsburgh, don't you ever look close to them defensively again? Yeah, we will mention the Bengals here a little bit later on in the program. Just that loss. I hope that the loss doesn't come back and bite this team in the ass because it is looking uglier and uglier. That L by the week. DK had the biggest role last game. Caught the onside kick. Indeed, he did get that final onside kick. I believe it was Connor Hayward who had the other one. Highsmith and moves prices went up after that game. Says Flacco, don't trade anyone away. Pittsburgh Steelers need to be buyers, not sellers. Agree there. Man, JPJ had his best game of his career. Best game of his career. I don't think I'm going to go with that. I think still Porter's best game of his career was. Didn't Porter have one game early on in his career, his rookie year, where he shut down a number of teams, one to have only 2 catches for 30 yards or something like that? Or another one off the top of my head, I want to say Joey's other best game of his career, the one against the Ravens where he picked off Lamar Jackson in the end zone throwing a fade for OBJ. So was it his best game? No, but was it way better than what we've seen from him this year? Kind of like the rest of the defense? Yes. Concepts, not holding my breath. But my hopes are still at an all-time high. Can't help it. Definitely will be here. Ayuk Saga had me hook, line, and sinker, so I'm trying not to get too hopeful. Too late, though, LOL. Yeah, it's getting real dark here on the wide receiver trade front. I still have hopes that they will do it, but not holding my breath, just like you. Flacco mentioning Jay Jettas. Go call the Vikings. Vikings beating the Lions. They're not going to be sellers now. Concepts really like Jonnu Smith. Still glad he's here, but do you think that miss to start the game was on him or Rodgers? Just curious. All love. That miss made me sick. Glad we have him, Mountain W and Jonnu. Yeah, that first play of the game, pass to Jonnu Smith. I still think Rodgers 95% accuracy on that throw. If it hits you square in the hands and not just your fingertips, I'm going to put that on the receiver there. Jonnu Smith should have had that. And really, I mean, I feel the same way as you do, Concepts. I'm glad he's here, but man, we're now halfway through the season and he is not showing anything resembling the guy that you got from Miami. He has been just a spare part out there, a guy running cardio, and I really hope that there's a next level that he's going to get to here soon, and he can have this Phoenix from the ashes like performance in recent games from like what we've seen from Pat Freiermuth. So yeah, I agree. Jonnu, glad he's here, but glad he's here. Glad that we have the depth at that position, but still got to see him get more involved in this offense because it has been pretty ugly, to say the least, right now. If the hit on DK on that DJ Turner fake INT was called helmet to helmet, Ramsey's was beyond clean. Yes, I'm still mad about the fake INT and no call. Shut up. No, by means, Concepts. That was egregious. As much as the Steelers lost that game and were absolutely horrendous, the referees, they did not help them whatsoever. So I don't blame you for being mad at it. I'm still a little pissed off at it, dude. Just not bringing it up here on the channel every single game. Like the Steelers, got to have a clear eyes ahead mentality for these games. Flacco puking emoji for the Ravens. W's on the Pats, Colts, Vikings. Pretty good to me. Agreed. And also, will bring up. Saw someone else online bring this up. You are one Caleb Johnson botched kickoff away from possibly beating the Seattle Seahawks as well. Not saying that they do, but at least, you don't have a back-breaking play like that. And the Seahawks just put belt to ass last night on the Washington Commanders. Ravens don't scare me. They look versus the Dolphins. I think the Dolphins, they beat themselves just as much as the Ravens beat them in that game. Trying to catch up on the rest of your comments here real quick so we can keep things moving along here on the channel. All division games are tough and toss. Sure. Some fans throwing out a Jacoby Myers and JPJ line from Oregon. Yeah, Jackson Powers Johnson trade for a second rounder. I have seen that too. Am I willing to give up a second round pick? No. I get, the headliner in that deal would be Myers and Jackson Powers Johnson. I did like a ton coming out of the draft a couple of years ago. Steelers took Zach Frazier. He and Frazier, two guys I really wanted to, be centers in Pittsburgh. But giving up a second round pick, still too rich for my blood. It would have to be, if I'm giving up a second round pick, it's for a guy like Jaylen Waddle, and that's it, which maybe could be a possibility. Who knows? Because the fire sale with the Miami Dolphins, it has begun. We're going to mention a trade they did earlier today. Going to real quick finish catching up on these comments. Powers Johnson isn't worth a second. I agree there. Concepts. Could it, be him just being out there in Vegas? Maybe, but not going to take the risk there. Trey Janu, says Flacco. Nah, even if, he hasn't produced, still depth at that position, he'll be better than any other backup that you have. I'd rather have Janu still over Connor Hayward. That's not meant to be a slight as Connor Hayward as a backup tight end. Catching up here. JPJ has never given up a touchdown, right? Don't think so directly on a TD, though. Penalties. I mean, geez, do we have enough time in the day to count up how many penalty yards he's racked up in his career? So we'll see how he progresses there. Like Washington right now, Muth Janu is overkill. Ooh, I think Muth has, definitely gotten back in our good graces. Last comment here before we get into the winners and losers from yesterday's ball game between the Steelers and the Colts. Echelon here. Just a general question for everyone. Do you think Breece Hall finally gets out of that hellhole of New York? Seems like a guy that, he probably on the inside wants out, but that the Jets, they're going to, hold him for a stupendous offer. I don't think Breece Hall gets out. If he does, though, watch it be some team like the Chiefs or something where he goes there and turns into a dog, and then all of the rest of the teams look stupid, and it'll be for like a 4th round pick or something, and we're like, why the hell didn't our team do this? So hopefully Breece Hall will find his way out. Maybe it's to Pittsburgh, but if he does find his way out of New York, hopefully it's not any team of significance in the AFC. Unfortunate, he's a great player. I think the addition of Janu frees Muth up more. Agreed there, Magic. That's another thing we got to consider here. Has Janu had the production? Yes, both by, the scheme, the situation, and himself, of course. But that does help Freiermuth out a lot. Agreed. Because, going back to when it was just Washington and Muth here, Washington wasn't diverting attention away from Freiermuth. Like I think Jonnu Smith is, so we'll see. Muth has been cooking, says Tyrone Keaton. Indeed. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Real quick, please, by all means, get your comments rolling in here. We will get back to them here in a second. We are going to switch up gears now, get back into the Steelers versus the Colts game itself yesterday, and now going to give you guys my winners and losers from yesterday's game. You can get your reactions to my winners and losers in the comments section, and let me know what you guys think. Got 3 winners here and 2 losers. Did I, mention everyone in the winners and losers segment? No, but I think I hit on the main people here. Winner number 1 yesterday. This one is a pretty easy one. That is the Steelers defense and our faith in them. For only the second time this season, I will, even though the Patriots gave the game away more than the Steelers defense took it away, I will count week 3 as a very strong performance from the Steelers defense. That $160 million defense won the game. So second time on the year, the Steelers defense went out and won the game for the black and gold. They taking on a 7-1 team's offense in the Indianapolis Colts. They made them look like a 1-7 team, and that will always be a winner here. Just some, key things that they did yesterday as a whole. Got penetration and pressure early and often on that pretty good Colts offensive line. They got a pair of decent tackles. Quentin Nelson, of course, at guard. So they really took their lunch money there, blew them off the line of scrimmage. I love that. They held the NFL's best running back, in my opinion, still, Jonathan Taylor, to just 45 rushing yards. His longest carry, I believe, was 9 yards. So no explosives from JT. That's A++++ across the board right there. They made my offensive rookie of the year favorite, Tyler Warren, tight end out of Penn State, pretty much irrelevant in the game. And they turned Indianapolis Jones back into Danny Dirks, the quarterback that we knew from the New York Giants. Steelers got in his head. He made mistakes. That was huge. I think a key to that was him going past his first read. He wasn't, boom, seeing one guy open immediately, getting rid of the ball. They made him hold on to that ball, scan the entire field. That led to the interceptions and the fumbles. The defense yesterday, forcing 6 turnovers. Like I mentioned, that is the most that this team has had since the 2010 season against the Tennessee Titans. Sounds to me like maybe the aura of the Super Bowl 40 team. Guys like Joey Porter, Brett Kiesel, Dick LeBeau in the building. Sounds like those guys being in there, maybe their aura and success of the past radiated down to field level and helped this team put on that performance. From an individual standpoint, there really wasn't any player that had a terrible game. I mean, just going all over the board here. TJ Watt, he was back to doing TJ Watt things, strip sack with the fumble recovery. Same thing for Cam Hayward. He did what he does best, getting his hands up, tipping balls at the line of scrimmage. I think pretty much every single ball that he got a finger or a hand on could have been intercepted. Alex Highsmith, best game of the year for him, maybe one of the best of his career. 2 sacks, 3 tackles for loss, 3 tackles for loss, forced fumble that the Steelers recovered. Definitely, at least, for that game, off of my, hey, why the hell isn't this guy showing up list? So I want to see him continue that. Patrick Queen, he was solid in pass coverage, had a nice PBU early in the game. Keanu Benton, another solid performance from him at nose tackle, plugging up the run, getting to the quarterback as well. He had another sack. The rookies, Derek Harmon, Jack Sawyer, they each made splash plays. Tomlin, after the game, called Jack Sawyer a 5-star player, so maybe that's a sign that Sawyer's going to get more defensive reps here as the season goes along. Joey Porter Jr., you guys brought him up a good bit. Still handsy in coverage, but like I said, that late interception, that pretty much put the game away. That washed away a lot of the bad he did. I also think it's cool, like I said, Joey Sr., his dad, told him before game, hey, I'm here with my boys. Don't go out there and embarrass me today. So that interception is going to make Joey Sr. a proud papa. Darius Slay, Brandon Eccles, none of those guys really got cooked all that much in coverage. I know that that's sort of an underhanded compliment there, but I mean it as a compliment nonetheless. And lastly here, the safety tandem, Jalen Ramsey, Kyle Duggar, they were outstanding. And I know it took the injury of Deshaun Elliott for that to happen, but I wouldn't mind that safety tandem sticking around for a little while. They were outstanding. No big plays, deep downfield got broken off. So that was fantastic on their part. Special shout out to Kyle Duggar. We mentioned him at the top of the live stream tonight. 4 days, maybe less. He was with the Steelers. Goes out there, plays 77 of 78 defensive snaps, held his own, got a game ball for it. So, yeah, Kyle Duggar, props to you. Hats off. Can keep it up. And one other guy had a fantastic individual performance yesterday, but you guys know who that is, I'm sure. He's going to be mentioned in his own winner segment here in a second. And probably most importantly yesterday, I think we did see some real adjustments from the defense. I know Mike Tomlin said in his Tuesday press conference last week, hey, we don't really need to change all that much defensively. Turns out that was a bit of a smokescreen. According to Ben Solak, I believe he does some analytical work for ESPN, the Steelers, they had just a single high safety 50% of the time. So they had 2 safeties or more back, preventing big plays. Love that. Some props to Mike Tomlin and defensive coordinator Terrell Austin for that. But most importantly, this goes from, I think, a standpoint for Terrell Austin, seemed like everything was more simple for the defense. It was a simple game plan, simple, play calls out there for the defense. And that took a lot of pressure off of them, lessened the confusion and allowed the unit to execute better. So props to them. I'll give them a little bit of a slide. The defense for the fourth quarter success that the Colts offense had, because unlike the Vikings and even the Jets game, the way that the defense looked for a majority of that game, even if it did come down to like a last minute drive for the Colts, I had full confidence that the defense was going to stop them eventually. So props to the defense. They are winner number one from yesterday's game. Loser yesterday, though, switching sides of the ball here. Steelers' offensive efficiency. I may be nitpicking here a little bit, but the Steelers' offense, they did not have their best day. Yes, they put up 27 points, but the self-inflicted wounds, they were very evident. Aside from Aaron Rodgers, Calvin Austin, and Pat Freiermuth, I think you can make an argument that everyone else left much to be desired on offense. Starting up front, the big boys, the offensive line, they took a step back yesterday, in my opinion. Running game did not get going at any sort of time in that game yesterday. I believe just 38 rushing yards on 23 attempts. That isn't going to cut it, and they are lucky that the defense put on the performance that they did. They were getting blown off of the line of scrimmage. Aaron Rodgers got hit more than we would like. They got sacked twice. Broderick Jones, he got beat a couple of times. The interior of the line struggled against Grover, Stewart, and company. And on top of it all, Isaac Seumalo, starting left guard, re-aggravated that pec injury, was managing it heading into this game. And now that he injured it and got knocked out of the game, you got to assume maybe it was a moderate injury before that he could try to fight through. Now you got to fear that it's going to be an injury that he misses some time with. To the running backs, no one could really get anything going either. Warren, Gainwell, Johnson didn't really matter. Like I said, they're in this just like the offensive line, 38 yards rushing on 23 attempts. Absolutely terrible. Warren did get into the end zone twice, but those were pretty much from the goal line. So they need to work on getting back to the running style and the big running plays they've had for the past couple of weeks. Last but certainly not least, the pass catchers on offense. Beyond Calvin Austin, he had 5 catches for 56 yards. No other receiver really showed up. DK Metcalf, 2 receptions, 6 yards. Bad drop early on in the game mixed in there. Most productive play. We brought him up, goading Colts corner Jalen Jones into taking an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty and also recovering that final onside kick from the Colts. And Roman Wilson. Gonna get to him in a second here. He kind of like one guy on defense. He deserved a segment of his own, so we'll get to him here in a minute. Tight ends, Freiermuth, 3 receptions, 27 yards, a touchdown. I'll give him a break. He's still finding the end zone. Behind him, Darnell Washington, 4 catches, 43 yards. Good for him as a massive human being, mainly used as a blocking tight end out there. But still, 2 opportunities in the red zone to score a touchdown early on. Couldn't capitalize on either. That's a negative. And then Jonnu Smith, mentioned pass hitting off his hands early in the game, continues to just be a guy out there. Just a man that, is he going to make a splash play? Probably not. Do we even recognize he's out there? Probably not either. So he needs to step it up. Seeing that performance from all of these guys, but particularly the pass catchers, is it likely? I don't think so, but can we please get a wide receiver too? Or someone, different here to, when we have a game like this, someone who's able to drag this team out of the, miscues they're having. So 4 p.m. tomorrow, trade deadline. Hope you guys come back here with me to recap this. But that performance yesterday from the offense for Omar Khan, big old red flag that we need another pass catcher on that side of the ball. Wrapping up the winners and losers here, got 2 winners and 1 last loser. The winner, the lone defensive guy I set aside from yesterday's game, Peyton Wilson. I think he deserved special recognition for what he did yesterday. He was 9 solo tackles. One of those, I believe, early on in the game was a touchdown saving tackle. Ran back on a play where Jalen Ramsey and Darius Slay got beat in zone coverage. Is able to track down Alec Pierce before he can get up to full speed. So kudos to Wilson there. 2 pass breakups as well. One, the perfect ricochet to Jack Sawyer for the interception, and then he gets the pick for himself. And you balled out when Patrick Queen told reporters after the game yesterday that Peyton Wilson, for some odd reason, got a drug test note from the NFL in his locker. So Wilson, dog, I'm sure that test will come back clean, but hopefully yesterday's game was a rival party for him, that he can be an upper echelon linebacker in the NFL. Loser, the lone offensive guy I set aside from the loser segment earlier, Roman Wilson. I don't mean this to be mean, but it's starting to feel like it is 1 step forward, 2 steps back with Wilson anymore. Bengals game, got more involved in the offense. We were happy to see that. Packers game, scores his first career touchdown. But then he goes out there yesterday and makes one of the most low IQ NFL football IQ plays that you will see this year. And I'm not even going to give him the benefit of the doubt that it was, some sort of a rookie mistake, which he pretty much is. Got to have situational awareness. 4 minutes left to go in the game. Up by 10. Wilson gets a screen pass to the left. Instead of just taking whatever yardage he can, get without putting the ball at risk, decides to jump over a Colts defender while in midair. Colts linebacker, I believe, comes over, punches the ball loose. It's fumbled. Colts fall on top of it, and they end up, getting the door cracked open for them to tie up that ball game. Just can't be doing that, and he's got to realize that, he just needs to do his job and nothing more in that situation, but instead bit off a little bit more than he can chew. It's bad when you got Ben Skoranek, of all people. I'm not sure if you guys have seen the video. There's a hot mic there on the sideline where as soon as Skoranek and Wilson can't fall on that loose football, he gets up, yells to himself, not at Wilson, "Why are you jumping?" Don't blame Skoranek whatsoever. If Wilson isn't in the doghouse of Aaron Rodgers after that play, which I think he is, you bet he sure as hell is in Tomlin's doghouse. Tomlin hates when you put the ball on the ground and you give teams unnecessary advantages. So I would be shocked if whatever sort of momentum Roman Wilson built up in recent games, that I seriously doubt if he'll get significant playing time, at least against the Chargers here on Sunday night. Hell, at this point, I don't think it'll happen, but I would not be shocked if he could be in some trade conversations ahead of tomorrow's deadline. So hopefully he's able to bounce back there, but just a terrible play. And the last winner yesterday, last but certainly not least, got to give a shout out to Danny Smith and his special teams unit. Just as much as the defense, that unit, special teams unit, absolutely spectacular yesterday. Got the turnover party started. They had the first of those 6 turnovers yesterday. Defense had 5 of them, so I apologize if I didn't clarify that in the defense portion of the winners here. Got it started there. Brandon Eccles recovers the muffed punt. Corliss Waitman, he was booming the ball, tackling on kickoffs. Returns were solid. Chris Boswell was Chris Boswell, and Danny Smith, he found a loophole in the new kickoff. I was still a little bit confused on it, but I believe the Steelers drawing a penalty on their first kickoff there at some point in the fourth quarter. Them drawing a penalty on it. Chris Boswell then got to re-kick, and he was instructed intentionally by Smith to kick the ball out of bounds. So I think that the Colts would start their next drive at the 25-yard line instead of the 30. So shout out Danny Smith. Love that special teams unit. They've been pretty much the most consistent group of the bunch so far this season, and they had a hell of a game yesterday, so shout out to them. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that does it for winners and losers. Real quick, before we continue on here, Penguins pregame on over here to my right. Puck drop about 45 minutes away between the Pittsburgh Penguins and the Toronto Maple Leafs. We're going to get to them, touch on them for a minute or two here in a second. Before we do that, let's go back to the comments here and get caught up on what you guys said here. Echelon here, drop the Kalen Metcalf, DK, drop King Metcalf sucks. Never was a wide receiver one, Jacoby Myers. Well, Echelon, in fairness, Jacoby Myers, he's not a wide receiver one either. Now, are either of them a wide receiver one? No. Metcalf, I think he does benefit when he has someone of his caliber next to him. So, did he have a bad game? Yeah. Am I going to be on him hard too much beyond this? No, because I think him having a bad game like that's just a blip on the radar. Nothing to be concerned about. And also, he is still just, a guy out there with not just a guy, but he is pretty much the legitimate only threat that strikes fear into defensive coordinators' hearts out there on that offense. So I'll give him a break there. Like what Concepts says here, gonna read this wide, drink this water. Agreed there, Chief George Pickens. I will take Metcalf over him. George Pickens benefits from schemes, drops more passes than anyone. That pass-happy offense down there in Dallas, I'm sure, is keeping him heavily involved. So blow up from him hasn't happened yet, but will it eventually? Not going to rule it out. Echelon here, Jalen Ramsey, you're now my free safety. Agreed. And if there was one other thing besides receiver that we could get tomorrow or tonight, who the hell knows, with the Steelers, I would get another corner, hardcore slot corner, so you can keep Ramsey up there at free safety. I think at this time in his career, he's got to live with the fact that his days as a number one corner, mano-a-mano against other teams, WR1s, I think those are pretty much past him. Can he, do it every once in a while in a game? Yes, but free safety, I think, is where he can best be used in this defense right now, and I hope he does continue there, like you said there. Peyton Wilson, yes, on fire. Random drug tests clearly aren't random. Just ask Peyton. NFL loves to lie. Also, forget his name. Who's the kicker? Little from the Jaguars. Hits, a 68-yarder yesterday. And he posts to his social medias that he got a drug test note either. So, yeah, random, but is it really, though? That's to be determined. Rodgers, short passes are pseudo run game, and it's working well. Yeah, it is, but also when you're putting the ball on the ground late in games, and the team knows that you're going to be running the ball with Jaylen Warren or Kenneth Gainwell, you still gotta do a little bit better than what they did yesterday. Too many times we saw them run the ball. Jimmy Chonga, as Concepts or someone said yesterday. I apologize for forgetting, but too many times blatant running situations, and they couldn't do nothing with it. Tyrone here, very bad management, but he will be fine. Yeah, talking about Roman Wilson, I hope so, but just very poor judgment. Concepts here, still like a good blocker, good effort each snap. Do that, and I'll admit, I love when you see that man play to the echo of the whistle. There was 2 or 3 times yesterday and he was in there on that DK Metcalf penalty that he drew from Jaylen Jones. Roman Wilson playing to the echo of the whistle. That's getting in the heads of defenders, and maybe it hasn't done it yet, but at some point in time, it's going to, set a fuse off with someone on the opposing defense, and it's going to give the Steelers a free first down at a critical moment in the game. So I do like that aspect of him. Very dumb play, low football IQ, situational awareness. That being said, still believe in him. I still have some faith in him, but third-round pick, third-round picks, they haven't been too kind to the Steelers. Just talk about Caleb Johnson. I don't want Roman Wilson to, become some sort of a bust either. Hopefully he breaks out. JPJ to Tomlin and Rodgers after the game. Don't be too hard on Roman. LOL. Did he actually say that? If he did, Porter, right message, but wrong guy if Joey Porter Jr. would say something like that, because, dude, you take a penalty, probably 2 or 3 every single game, and the only reason why you do not, and I'm not afraid to say this either, I think Joey Porter Jr., we can criticize him and his play all we want here on the channel, but do you think that Mike Tomlin is super hard on him? I don't really think so, and it's a situation where the name on the back helps you out there. So we'll see. Love how happy DK is following big plays that don't necessarily involve him. He truly only cares about winning. Is a breath of fresh air. That's another thing, concepts, and I know what you're referring to there. That is another feather in the cap of people who appreciate having DK Metcalf more than George Pickens. We only saw that one time from George Pickens where the team did something great and he wasn't involved and he was perfectly okay with it. I believe that was, a couple years ago when Mason Rudolph took the team to playoffs. It was the last game of the year against the Baltimore Ravens. GP only had maybe 1 catch in that game, but other guys, Deontay Johnson, Jaylen Warren, I think Najee Harris, those guys ate in that game, and GP was happy with it because Mike Tomlin went up to him before the week and he said, hey, 1 game here, we play, we get into playoffs here. I know Harbaugh on the other side of the field, he's going to take you away. Just please keep a level head. You're not going to, get that much action today, if any. Just understand it's not, us, unintentionally not throwing you the ball. It will be intentional, but it's for the good of the team. So, yes. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, 13 of you in here. Welcome to the live stream. Thoughts, opinions, comments on the Pittsburgh Steelers or anything else on your mind, feel free to get those in the live stream comment section right now. Got a new subscriber, Kurt2512. Welcome, Kurt. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. That brings the total to 609. If you are still in here and you are not subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button, like this live stream, share it as well. And like I mentioned, I'll mention it now and probably mention it one other time before we log off here for the evening. Come back tomorrow, 4 o'clock. Around that time, we will be live for trade deadline wrap-up reactions and recap. Hopefully by then, the Steelers add a wide receiver too, but will they? Probably not. Hope you guys come back here tomorrow at that time. Join me then. If not, we will be live at a moment's notice if the Steelers do any sort of other trade well before 4 o'clock. So hope you guys join me back here then. Real quick, we got one last segment here before the extra Pittsburgh sports news for the evening here. And we're going to switch gears to that right now. That is the Pittsburgh Penguins, the game over here. If you see me, peering to my right every now and again, about half an hour from now, Pens, they're going to drop the puck against the Toronto Maple Leafs. I believe that game is up in Toronto. So another good test there for the Penguins. Since we last spoke, getting into this real quick, Since we last spoke, the Pens, they played 2 games. They had one Thursday night. We were not live here Friday, so they've had a game Thursday night and Saturday afternoon. Going to get into what went down in those games right now. Thursday night, Pens up in Minnesota to take on the Minnesota Wild. The Wild got on the board in the first period, 1-0. Not a good period there for the Pens. They were outshot 13-6. There was a game-tying goal from Evgeny Malkin that got wiped out on an absolutely terrible goaltender interference call on Justin Brazeau. They reviewed it. It was clear Brazeau was pushed into the goaltender by the Wild defenseman, but they didn't see it that way. That was terrible. The Pens penalty kill, they were getting put to work twice in that period. Second period, though, things started to change the other way. Ryan Shea, he got the Pens on the board early in the second, made it 1-1. Brian Rust, not too long after that, made it 2-1. In the third period, Ben Kindle, which Thursday was his first game, his 10th game, his first official game as a legit NHL rookie after his 9-game tryout. Kindle, he got on the board, made it 3-1, hunting a rebound there on the power play 1, which he was on. Someone else, I forget who, I think got an empty netter mixed in there. 4-1, the final score, Pens over Wild in that game. Third period was solidly played by the Pens in that one. Wild had no chance of coming back. Tristan Jarry stopped 27 of 28 shots, his 4th straight win. Glad to see that from him. And the Pens, after that game, moved to 8-2-2. They extended their point streak to 8 games, and they also at that time owned the NHL best goal differential at plus 13. And we were wondering, hey, good win there against, I think, a playoff caliber team in the Wild. Let's see how they continue against a legit playoff team, probably a Stanley Cup favorite, at least one team that is up there in the Winnipeg Jets on Saturday. What the Pens did in that test, it all came crashing down. They had an absolutely horrendous game, especially the first period. Bad goals given up. Harrison Brunick, rookie defenseman, he had a rough go of it. Sidney Crosby with a penalty. Things, continued to get worse from there. The Jets made it 3-0 in the second period. It was 4-0 shortly after that. Arturs Shalovs comes out, plays the puck, ends up giving it up to Jets forward Kyle Connor. He then throws his stick at Kyle Connor, gives Connor a penalty shot. Shalovs gave up that penalty shot because he's horrible in breakaway situations. The Pens did try their best to come back. Sidney Crosby on the power play was able to tip home a rebound, so good on Sid there. Not too long after that, that power play goal, came in the final seconds of the second period. Third period, Blake Lizotte, he scored for the Pens to make it 4-2, but then I believe Kyle Connor put away the game with an empty netter, 5-2 the final score. And on top of everything, Justin Brazeau, who is off to a hell of a hot start for the Pens this year on that second line with Evgeny Malkin and Anthony Mantha. He did not play Saturday, and he will not play tonight. He is out day-to-day with an upper body injury. Originally, it was reported that it was, just a minor thing for Brazeau, but now that, he's missing his second consecutive game tonight, it's obviously more serious than anyone initially expected. So hopefully the Pens are able to make do without him tonight. Like I said, Pens and Leafs, they're going to drop the puck here in about half an hour. See the game day chart right there. I believe Tristan Jarry will be in goal for the Pens against Toronto tonight. And also, one thing we will be looking forward to tonight, this will be Harrison Brunick, rookie defenseman's last game, his 9th game in his 9-game tryout period. Has he done all that much, outside of the first couple games of the year to warrant him getting a spot on the roster for the rest of the year, like Ben Kindle? I do not think so. So he is going to need to show some outstanding stuff tonight for him to have any sort of a chance, in my opinion, of staying on the team the rest of the year and not getting sent back to his junior team. We will see. We'll keep an eye on 45 in white and gold here tonight. All right, ladies and gentlemen, going to one last time here. Well, not one last time, but one more time here real quick. Go to the comment section before we get into the extra Pittsburgh sports news segment here of the program. In the comments section, expecting a big game from the front seven with the Chargers O-line banged up, says Tyrone Keaton. Yes, Tyrone, that talking about that situation, that was going to be mentioned in the extra Pittsburgh sports news segment here in a minute. Joe Alt, their fantastic, I believe second year, right? Second year rookie. Not second year rookie, second year left tackle, Joe Alt. What was it, a high ankle sprain or some sort of ankle injury? Left on a cart the Chargers-Titans game yesterday, and he is going to miss the rest of the season. So, Alex Highsmith, you got a backup. Time to eat. And I believe, aren't they also down Rashawn Slater, their other tackle? So, you got some backup tackles that TJ Watt, Alex Highsmith, Nick Herbig, they are going to need to eat against. Yep. Agree their concepts. All right, going to get into the extra Pittsburgh sports news segment here for the program today. I'm going to apologize in advance. Usually I have things pretty organized here in the extra Pittsburgh sports news segment, but today ran out of time getting everything organized for this portion. Wanted to really hit on Steelers Colts yesterday. So if I'm bouncing all around here with the extra Pittsburgh sports news, I apologize. Going to try to keep things with football here to start. Talking about the wide receiver situation, you guys have brought it up throughout the stream here today, but now I will officially bring it up. Steelers making an addition at wide receiver today. We thought this happened last week, but then tons of insiders and reporters came out, said, no, you're going to need to wait till next week for this to become official. Well, today on a Monday, it is official. Marquez Valdez-Scantling, longtime teammate of Aaron Rodgers, up there in Green Bay, signing with the Steelers today. I believe it is a practice squad signing for MVS because the Steelers also released Beanie Bishop from the practice squad today. I hope that, again, this is just a, plan C, D, E, all the way to Z here for Valdez-Scantling, that, this is their fallback option in case they can't get anything done before the deadline. Does the relationship he have with Rodgers, the chemistry, and the fact that he is still a big body wide receiver, does that give me a little bit of hope that he can be more than just a Mike Williams type of addition that we saw last year? Yes, but am I counting on it? Absolutely not. So I still want the Steelers to go out there and go all in, trade for a wide receiver too. And even though it's not likely, the situation, I think, is right for the Steelers to go out there and get someone, especially down there in Miami. That's one I want to hit on today. Probably the least likely of them all, but I do think there is a legitimate chance that Jaylen Waddle could be on the move tomorrow for the Miami Dolphins. Do the Dolphins have a very high asking price? Yes, I'm trying to find the post here. I believe it's from Ian Rappaport or someone like that. No, it's Adam Schefter. Adam Schefter yesterday saying that the Dolphins, in words from a source of Schefter's, it's a 1+ for any potential trade for Jaylen Waddle. The trade is considered highly unlikely by the source. But hey, we got to remember here, Dolphins, they just fired their general manager a couple of days ago. They're not going anywhere this year or in the next couple of years. They just sold off this morning. I woke up to, believe it was Jalen Phillips. He got sent to the Philadelphia Eagles of all teams for just a third-round pick, too, which is crazy. He's 26 years old. It's a player at a key position. I know he just had an injury not too long ago, but a third-round pick for a 26-year-old player. I will drive to the Pittsburgh airport, get on a plane down to Miami, pick up Jaylen Waddle, be his, seat buddy. I'll take the window seat with Waddle on the flight back to Pittsburgh and drive him to the Steelers facility if you can get him for a third-round pick. So that's the reason why I wanted to bring it up today. Jaylen Waddle, didn't think it was all that likely before, but hey, Dolphins GM is out. They just sold off a damn good player for not all that high of a price. Ian Rappaport said that they are going to consider offers on some other players like Waddle, like Bradley Chubb, those types of guys. So I'd take a look at it if I'm the Steelers. But still a long shot. Some other wide receiver things going on here with the Steelers. Diana Rossini of The Athletic, she over the weekend came out with another report on multiple trade deadline intel, said that the Las Vegas Raiders, they have fielded calls from the Steelers and the Buffalo Bills on wide receiver Jacoby Myers, but that still Las Vegas does have a high price set. She did mention Pittsburgh looking at other wide receiver options too. I'm sure Waddle is one of them. Maybe even Deebo Samuel could be one of them. I thought of that one today. The Commanders, they got beat bad and they got injured real bad yesterday. Maybe they could move Deebo Samuel. Just thinking around, maybe Rashid Shaheed is still on the table. Chris Olave, I think that's even more unlikely than Jaylen Waddle at this point. So we will keep an eye on the wide receiver market. Hopefully something coming down the line here soon. Switching gears back to the games yesterday. Did not mention this in the Colts-Steelers breakdown. Indianapolis, along with the Green Bay Packers, the only one-loss teams that were left standing entering into yesterday's slate of games. Of course, Indy falls to the Steelers, and the Carolina Panthers, of all teams, they beat the Green Bay Packers yesterday 16-13, a walk-off field goal from, I believe, Eddie Pinheiro. And Tucker Kraft, he got his ACL torn in that game. Sucks for him. He just torched the Steelers. But that loss, the Packers to the Carolina Panthers, and the Panthers holding them to just 13 points, that just as much as the Bengals game and how the Bengals are doing right now, that makes those losses all that worse. The Bengals, by the way, said we would bring them up. They just comedy right now when you watch their games. Their offense is still humming. Don't get that twisted. But they, yesterday, with, I believe, 45 seconds left, up 42-36 or something like that on the Chicago Bears. And then with 25 seconds left, a 75-yard touchdown pass from Caleb Williams and the most abysmal tackling effort that I have ever seen from the Cincinnati Bengals. They got three guys around Loveland, and they all collide with each other like they're the Three Stooges, and Loveland takes off for the end zone. The Bears, they beat Cincinnati 42-41, I think was the final score. So I apologize if I butchered the final score. That's the first time that a team since the 1960s have scored 38 or more points in back-to-back games and lost both of them. The Cincinnati Bengals. Crazy. They're also, by the way, entertaining offers on Trey Hendrickson. Their asking price, still a first-round pick. I think he could be moved, and it's not going to be for a first-round pick. For a guy that they're not going to retain next offseason, and pretty much were pulling teeth with him to get him to play this year. If you're the Bengals, you'd be crazy and stupid not to move him. But are we going to put it past Cincinnati? Absolutely not. And one more thing here on the Steelers' divisional opponents. We talked about the Steelers' safeties and how good Jalen Ramsey and Kyle Duggar were yesterday. If that wasn't such a good tandem, maybe the Steelers today, they would be giving a call to an old friend, DeMonte Casey, today, getting cut from the Cleveland Browns 53-man roster. So he is back on the market. And the Baltimore Ravens, we mentioned, I believe, last week, how they had some sort of injury report issue where Lamar Jackson was a full participant in practice on Friday and was looking in line to start against the Chicago Bears, only for him to, on Saturday, be changed to a limited participant on Friday and be out. The Ravens for that got fined $100,000, and I'm a little surprised by that. $100K, just pretty much a slap on the wrist to an NFL team, and surprised that there wasn't any sort of revoking of a draft pick there or anything like that. So thought that was interesting. Wrapping up here, the extra Steelers news here from the day. Last trade deadline rumor, according to Tom Pelissero, Dolphins safety Minkah Fitzpatrick drawing interest from multiple teams ahead of the trade deadline. Could he be moved out of Miami? I want to say this. I know Minkah didn't have the best of years before he got traded away from the Steelers. Seeing him down there in Miami makes me feel bad for him. So if he does get traded, I hope he does get traded to a contender. Hopefully it's outside the AFC North. But, man, just seeing that man who played with – was he good in recent years for the Steelers? No. But for a guy who plays the game with so much heart and conviction, I hope he goes out elsewhere and is able to, get a new shot on a team that, actually matches his dedication to winning. I do. So, good luck to Minkah ahead of the trade deadline tomorrow. Steelers cannot reacquire him. We've talked about that on the channel here before. The only way Minkah could make his way back to Pittsburgh within the next year and a half would be him to get cut by the Dolphins. At that point, he would be just a free agent and would be free to go wherever he wants. Moving from the NFL here to the college ranks, the Steelers this weekend back out there at many college games, taking a look at some players. Steelers assistant general manager Andy Waddle, he was confirmed to be in Columbus for Penn State versus Ohio State over the weekend. No Drew Aller in that game, so no real quarterback being evaluated there. Wide receiver Carnell Tate for the Ohio State Buckeyes was playing, though, and he had a good showing. Steelers could use a pass catcher if they don't acquire one at the deadline. So Carnell Tate, a guy to watch. First-round pick caliber wide receiver, I believe. Steelers scouts, they were also at the University of Texas, the Texas Longhorns versus Vanderbilt. Arch Manning, of course, the headliner player to watch in that one. Seems to be coming along as the Longhorns have gotten better. And also, lastly, I think a Steelers scout was at Notre Dame versus Boston College. Not quite sure who the Steelers would have been evaluating in that game. Boston College really isn't that good. Notre Dame, I believe their top players are running backs, so not sure what the Steelers were evaluating there. One quarterback who the Steelers have looked at a couple of times that might be sliding down their rankings, as are mine. Arizona State quarterback Sam Leavitt, thought to be one of those, is he a top of the draft guy? Is he, a day two guy? He will miss the remainder of the year due to injury, so hopefully he will be all right. And to wrap up the Steelers talk here for the day, for forgot to mention this with the Ravens a moment ago. They made a trade on Saturday, and of course it's the Eagles again because, these teams, for some reason, they don't understand that the Eagles always win their trades. The Ravens trading Jair Alexander and a 2027 seventh round pick to the Eagles in exchange for a sixth round pick. So pretty much the exact same structure that the Steelers made in the Kyle Duggar trade on Thursday, the Ravens made Saturday night. And remember, there was a time when on this channel we were all asking, who would you rather have, Jalen Ramsey or Jair Alexander? I think that answer, I think we, got the right guy in that debate. And happy birthday, of course. Want to mention it one more time to Jaylen Warren. He celebrated his birthday Saturday. And, of course, congratulations, last thing here for the Steelers, to the Super Bowl 40 team that got recognized yesterday at halftime between the Steelers and the Colts. That Super Bowl 40 team, lots of legends. Not all of them were there, but thought it was cool to see them getting their flowers. Ben and the bus getting introduced last. Love that. And hopefully those alumni will stick around more often. And, one last thing here on the Steelers that I wanted to mention. I also saw this besides the Jaden Daniels injury in last night's Sunday night football game. This was at the 2-minute warning last night. Mike Tirico, the head play-by-play commentator for Sunday Night Football, he did address the incident at Acrisure Stadium last Sunday. A worker for Sunday Night Football falling from the top of the Steelers scoreboard about 80 feet, was in critical condition and taken to the hospital. Tirico said that that man, Keith Keller, a camera operator for Sunday Night Football. The quote here from Tirico: Keith has been a member of our Sunday Night Football team for over a decade. He's one of our key camera operators. He's provided so many great looks at the big moments in games you've enjoyed for years. Good news is that he's doing better, but he does have a long road ahead. We wish Keith, his wife Stephanie, their family our absolute best, thinking about them a lot, and we'll continue to do so as we go throughout the year. So very good news there from Tirico that this camera operator, Keith Keller, is doing better, but still last that we've heard here from reports out of Pittsburgh in critical condition. So thoughts and prayers still to him and his family. Wrapping up here, do not think that there is any extra Pittsburgh Penguins news here for the day, other than that we're just waiting to see what happens in this game here in a moment. Extra Pittsburgh Pirates news here for the day. Last night, didn't even know that this was going on, to be honest. The Rawlings Gold Glove Award recipients were announced. Two current Pirates in the finals for Gold Gloves. That was Tommy Pham for left field and Jared Triolo for utility man. Tommy Pham and Triolo both did not receive Gold Gloves. Pham, I kind of guessed that he wasn't going to get a Gold Glove, was going up against Ian Happ and Kyle Stowers. I think he was a distant second or a close third in that race. I think Happ was going to get it all the way. Triolo, however, just seeing still what that guy does out there on the field, doesn't matter what position you put him at. Triolo, I think, got robbed of the Gold Glove. It was won by Javier Sanoa of the Miami Marlins, but maybe we can at least take a, kind of half victory lap. Key Brian Hayes, congratulations to him. His jersey actually is this one still that you see here on this camera on the back of the chair right now. Congratulations to him. He winning his second Gold Glove as a part of both the Pirates and the Reds. So congratulations to Key. And one more thing on the Gold Glove. Congratulations to Connor Griffin. He won the minor league Gold Glove for shortstop. So, as if this kid isn't exciting enough already, top prospect in baseball, is hitting the ball like crazy at whatever level he's at. Connor Griffin on top of that, an A-plus shortstop, won the Gold Glove. I believe he only had 7 errors in 80-something or 90-something games that he was reported to play in. So congratulations to Connor Griffin there. The Baseball Hall of Fame, they today announced its contemporary baseball era player ballot for the class of 2026. A Pirate featured in that, Barry Bonds. Some other legendary names in there, Roger Clemens, Don Mattingly, Gary Sheffield, Fernando Valenzuela. So hopefully Barry Bonds is finally going to get into the Baseball Hall of Fame. And the last Pirate story here for the day really isn't relating to the Pirates at all, but I'll bring it up. Tons of MLB players, now that the season has wrapped up, opting for free agency today. Third baseman for the Boston Red Sox, Alex Bregman, he opted out of his contract. 2 Mets, closer Edwin Diaz and Pete Alonso, they opted out of their contracts. Outfielder Cody Bellinger opted out with the Yankees. Tons of other good guys, good players out there opting out of their contracts today. Should the Pirates get one of those guys? Abso-freaking-lutely. I would lose a limb if it meant getting a Pete Alonso or a Cody Bellinger or an Alex Bregman. Thankfully, though, my limbs, they are perfectly safe because the Pirates, they will not even think of doing such a move. They'll instead go for the latest old retreads on the market, and we will have the same cycle all over again next season in 2026 before, thankfully, or at least I strongly hope, in 2027 that baseball heads for a lockout and gets a salary cap and floor, because they need it, or else it will be fully confirmed and recognized that none of us watching this live stream, not me, not any of you watching right now, will experience a Pittsburgh Pirates World Series, even making it there in our lifetime. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think that is going to do it for today. Just scrolling through here, all the stuff that I got. One last Pirate story. They did on Friday make a claim talking about massive moves. They claimed Dugan Darnell, relief pitcher from the Colorado Rockies. He is 28 years old, had a 3.86 ERA in 11 2/3 MLB innings pitched with the Rockies last year. Had a 3.19 ERA in a little over 53 innings in AAA last year. So that's a World Series caliber move right there. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, going to catch up on your comments here before we log off here for the night. I think we left off here while I was away on another screen. Lance, welcome. Shout out from Mon Valley, as always. Glad to have you here, Lance. Flacco here. Vikings did beat the Lions. Yeah, that is pretty crazy. It shows that the Lions are beatable, or that the Vikings are better than we expected when we beat them. Wish we could get Minka back, Flacco. I wouldn't mind it, but fortunately it is just about impossible right now. Well, we have a spy on Justin Herbert in case he runs it. Also, who is the Chargers starting running back? To answer the second part of that first, I'd want to say, just because I know him off of fantasy football reasons, Kamani Vidal. Don't know who he is. Do know that in 2 games as the Chargers RB1, he has been all right. Of course, they are massively banged up at that position. No Amari Hampton, no Najee Harris, of course. Hassan Haskins, who I believe is out there, he's out. I also think, is Gus Edwards former Raven. Is he still out there? If so, he's out as well. So, the running back doing all right as their, fourth or fifth stringer. I would put a spy on Justin Herbert, though I wouldn't do it a ton because he's still going to see this Steelers passing defense and try to dice it up before he thinks about using his legs as a first option. So I'd focus on stopping these wide receivers of the Chargers more than anything right now, because you got Quentin Nelson, who's learned how to catch a football. You got Keenan Allen out there, Ladd McConkey. They got tons of good eligibles, as Mike Tomlin likes to say out there. Concepts here, like how MVS fits the scheme, obviously still needs more. We still need more, but a body in the wide receiver room, it's a good sign with zero risk. I agree there, Concepts. Can he be that big body guy, deep downfield threat that, honestly, Metcalf hasn't really been that, but can he be a big body receiver nonetheless, a giant target other than Metcalf in the offense? I wouldn't mind that. Is he going to be a game breaker? No, but does he provide a little bit more hope than Mike Williams? I think so. Minka is a Steeler at heart, yes, but currently no. Ravens fans were so hype about getting Jair. It's hilarious they gave him to the Eagles for nothing. The exact same trade that the Steelers just made for Kyle Duggar. That's how much Jair Alexander's stock has plummeted. Now, could he be much better with the Eagles? I think they're going to put him in more advantageous situations than the Ravens did, but still, laugh at the Ravens for that one. The Daniels injury is ridiculous. Yeah, it is ugly. I do not recommend watching it. I'm hoping that he's able to make a full recovery. Al on the prowl in here. Good win. Didn't recognize that was you, Al. I apologize. Heard the injury was not as bad as we thought. Yeah, it's a elbow dislocation, but we'll see if there's any sort of ligament damage. I don't think there were any fractures, though, so that's good. Tucker Kraft, of course, who lit up the Steelers. You were angry that he got Deshaun Elliott hurt. Now he ends up tearing his ACL. Hope he recovers 100%. Absolutely. That dropped 50 feet, you say, for the NBC cameramen. Somewhere between 50 and 80 feet is what's been reported from multiple reports. Wrapping up here, Don Mattingly, guys reacting to him, calling him your favorite players on a new ballot to get into the Hall of Fame. What was the Steelers' punishment for the Lev Bell injury report issue in 2016? I do not remember that. Concepts. I don't know. Oh no, Concepts. That is no. They got Kyle Hamilton, who's kind of their move all around guy. I don't see Minka fitting in there because they got Hamilton, but if they were going to replace Malachi Starks, first round rookie who's been disappointing this year, then that would not worry me, but I wouldn't like it. See, I like to root for Minka wherever he's going. I wouldn't want to see him go to any sort of AFC North team or a team like the Chiefs, something like that. Media asked Rodgers about Ben. He thought they meant Skoranek. They meant Big Ben. Shows how highly they think of Dirtbag. I love that guy. Yeah, Ben Skoranek. Gotta love that guy. Now, if the Steelers add a wide receiver, who does that knock off? If I had to guess, Scotty Miller. But Ben Skoranek, you gotta love what he does. Does his job every time. Should he be getting as many offensive snaps as he is with the Steelers? On contending teams, probably not. But as a guy who, produces all the time on special teams, he is outstanding in that. And you need guys like that. So hell yeah for Ben Skoranek. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's going to do it for the night. Just one last scroll here through Twitter before we log off. Taking one last look here at the Pens lineup for tonight's game. Harrison Brunick, he is indeed in the lineup, paired with Owen Pickering. So Brunick's last chance to make his case to play a 10th game in the NHL beyond his 9-game tryout. That will be confirmed here tonight. Interesting here. This is very interesting. This from Jeremy Fowler 48 minutes ago. Free agent corner Asante Samuel Jr. with a spine injury has been cleared to play, and he is talking with several teams and could take visits this week. And Michael Beck, who does some work on the Steelers, said that Steelers team doctor performed Samuel's surgery. We did say that the Steelers could use another corner, someone to put in the slot. I'm not sure if Samuel profiles like that, but he could be. He could play that if he wanted to. I'd take Asante Samuel on a flyer. Maybe you can get him even on the practice squad, fill in Beanie Bishop's role, if I had to guess. This interesting here. We'll see what comes of it. From Noah Hiles of the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, does good work on the Pirates. Super excited about a new project that will be announced tomorrow. I think it will be something Pittsburgh sports fans enjoy, especially ones who love baseball. So maybe Hiles got some dirt on Bob Nutting and he's going to sell the team. If so, if it's not that, then how awesome could it truly be? Looking here, not seeing anything else. The Cowboys, seeing something on him there that reminds me, apparently, Jerry Jones today for the Cowboys. I'm a little upset THP isn't in here, because apparently Jerry Jones said something today that the Cowboys have made a trade, but he didn't reveal what the trade is, and he said it's going to be finalized by tomorrow. So wonder what that's all about. Maybe we'll talk about it tomorrow on trade deadline day. That is going to wrap it up today, ladies and gentlemen. Concepts with the final word for the evening. Appreciate the content. See you at the deadline. Appreciate that. Concepts indeed. We will meet back here tomorrow for the final time, ladies and gentlemen. Come back tomorrow around 4 o'clock. We will be live as soon as the trade deadline wraps up to recap everything that went down. And there we go. Now I finally got that off. There's the thumbnail right there. We will recap everything that goes down in the deadline tomorrow. Any and all moves we will talk about. Hopefully the Pittsburgh Steelers make one or two so we can keep it Steelers-centric here. Maybe hopefully for a wide receiver, but we will be back here, not like this, just recapping the deadline, calling it a day there. And also for the final time, please, if you are new here, like this live stream, share it, leave a comment in the comment section. Any thoughts, questions, opinions that you may have, I can get to those after the fact. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and go give the channel a follow at Steel City SR on Facebook, Instagram, and X. And tune back in at some point later tonight for a new edition of SCSR 60. With that, that's going to do it. Thank you all for joining me. We'll be back here tomorrow recapping the NFL 2026 trade deadline, see if the Steelers do anything. And then after that, back here on Wednesday, we'll recap what goes on in the Mike Tomlin press conference tomorrow, recap what goes on in this Pittsburgh Penguins and Toronto Maple Leafs game that comes on here in a matter of moments, and we will talk about things then. Thank you all. Have a good rest of your victory Monday night. Back here tomorrow for the NFL trade deadline. Peace.